Hi, students. It's Donna, the tutor. I want to talk to you about simple present tense verbs right now. Simple present, simple past, and simple future. Okay, so let's just go through these with this chart that I have for you that shows the first tense, which is I, and then I have an example of a regular verb and an irregular verb. So I walk. You walk. I ride. You ride. He or she or it walks. Now, with the third person, this is just when I add the S at the end of the word, or in this case, S2. So I'll add either an S or an ES depending on the spelling of the word. That really is the only change. When I want to use simple present tense will be when I want to describe my routines, the usual things that I do as part of my life. I can also use the simple present tense to describe general facts or states of being, like how some type of process is what it is. Or, for instance, water becomes steam at 100 degrees centigrade. We can use simple present tense to describe our habits, and that's what I mean by our routines. For instance, I work Monday through Friday. I go to school Monday through Thursday, or Monday through Wednesday. Okay. And so for the simple present plural, it's much easier now because my verb tense will always just be the base form of the verb. So for all of the tenses, we walk, you walk, they walk. So what we have here in this column called person, these are pronouns. Remember, these are pronouns, and these are all subject pronouns. So talk a little bit more about this here, but we ride. You ride. They ride. We ride our bikes on the weekend. You ride the bus to come to school. They ride the bus to come to school. I ride with a friend to come to school. The simple past tense will just be for the regular verb, I'll add an ed ending. And the spelling may change for the simple past irregular verb. So, I walked. So we use the simple past tense to describe things that specific events that are over, they have passed. I walked home last night. So that last night part of my sentence describes some type of completed action. I rode my bike last night. You walked around the park yesterday. You rode your bike in the park yesterday. He walked his dog. She walked through her house. It walked on the patio. Maybe that's a cat or a dog. This it might refer to an animal. He rode his bike through the neighborhood last night. She rode her bike through the neighborhood last night. we use the simple past tense plural. Now the pronouns are we, you, again, and they. But the regular tense, I'm sorry, the regular verb tense is the simple past tense where I add ed, and or the spelling changes for road. Now with the plural, I'm sorry, for the simple future, for the singular and the plural, I only need to add will, my modal will. I will walk home tomorrow. You will walk home tomorrow. You will ride the bus tomorrow. He will ride the bus tomorrow. She will walk home tomorrow. We will walk home tomorrow. They will walk home tomorrow. Now I have a few question cards that we could go through. You're familiar with these cards because we've often used these to practice conversation. So these questions are all asking about your routines, things that you do as part of your everyday life. So, for instance, how often do you have your hair cut? So the answer could be something like, I have my hair cut once a month or once a year, twice a year, for instance. And notice this have your haircut. I need this helping verb, have, to describe services that are done for me. Anything that's done for me, I need to add this helping verb. But let's just say, for instance, you cut your own hair. Then you don't need to include have. You would just say, I cut my hair once a week or once a month, whatever the time period is. This is a popular question here with students. Why do you think English is important? How far from here do you work? So this question, how far, is in reference to distance. You could answer with either miles or minutes if you prefer, and it doesn't have to be exact. You can use an approximate amount or something that is close to the amount of time or distance. Here is, what do you do? This is a question that we use to, by this we mean what type of work do you do? What is your job position? Where do you work? What is the name of the company, for instance? Or also, what is your job? Which could tell us a little bit about your job position. Here's another. How often do you go to the movies? So this is an informal way that we ask about going to the movie theater. What do you do on the weekends? What do you do on the weekends? I like to go to the beach. I like to go to the park with my children. I like to play soccer. Here's another question that uses the superlative most. Who do you talk to the most? So if we're not sure about this word most, we use this to describe an amount of something. So if you talk to your mother once a week, for instance, but you talk to your spouse or your children every day, then you talk to your children the most. Where do you live? For this question, some people will answer, I live in Jacksonville. And that's okay. But since Jacksonville is such a large place, you can specify by the area of town that you live in, the region of the area. I live in Arlington. I live on the south side. And notice the prepositions that I'm using. I live in Arlington, the name of the place, but on the south side, since it has a directional point in it, a directional word, then I'll use the preposition on. I live on the west side. I live in Orange Park. I live in Fleming Island. I live in Deerwood or Bay Meadows, for instance. What time do you go to bed during the week? This would be just an approximate time. During is another word that references time. Here are some questions about your preferences, things that you like to do. What is your favorite color? Do you like to watch TV? Some of us like to watch TV, and some of us prefer to read a book or play a sport. These are some questions about your life. Do you have any brothers and sisters? What kind of music do you like? What city and country are you from? Do you have any pets? Do you live in a house, a townhouse, a condominium, or an apartment? Now, the short or informal word for condominium is condo. Notice the pronunciation, condo, or apartment. What is your favorite food? And that could be either your favorite American food, your favorite food from your native country, or from another country. I love Japanese food, for instance. What foods do you like to buy at the grocery store? Do you drive to class, take the bus, or does someone bring you? In other words, do you ride in someone's car? Here's another question, because so many of us love coffee or tea. Do you prefer, you like, in other words, coffee or tea? Do you prefer iced or hot coffee or iced or hot tea? Do you prefer cooler or warmer weather? So these are adjectives. Cooler, meaning it's cooler than the normal temperature, for instance, or warmer than the temperature that we have right now, or weather. And what type of job would you like to have once your English improves? For instance, many of you worked in your native country in some way, so perhaps you would like to work in that type of field again here in America, or perhaps you would like a new job once your English improves. And my favorite question, do you use an English dictionary? I hope the answer is yes. Thank you, ESOL students. Thank you, students. I do miss you and hope to be with you soon. Thank you. Bye.